One challenge that we may face as a team is the abandoning of team values. This could be because of the team getting rid of the whole consensus that was made up during the norming stage and during the previous stages. It could also happen if a couple members decide to make their own subgroups or do some work individually. They may feel that their way of doing things now is a lot better than how things were done before as a team, and so this could cause the abandoning of some values. Anibal?
So another challenge that could arise regarding abandoned values would be perhaps new members who've joined at this stage of the Tugman, and perhaps these members were not directed to the team charter, so they are now taking it up to themselves to perform however they want. Brian?
I just want to add that there could be a lack of commitment or trust within the team, and that with that they direct themselves in other ways, and that's all. They could break up the commodity. Brittany?
I think that also when teams abandon values, it can also cause like divisive and destructive debate, which can polarize a team, which can slow down the wheels of progress and betray everything that everyone has set up at the beginning. Josh?
Well, I personally think it's mainly a leadership type thing. Like the leader allows people to have different styles and beliefs, and thus in the end it creates a big conflict because no one is on the same page and everyone's doing things differently, which obviously doesn't work. Another thing is, like I believe it was Anibal said something about new people coming in who may not know what's going on, and then you refer them to the charter. I think Cook said something about that. That's all I got to say about that.
Anyone have anything else to add?
Nope.
I just want to say that during this stage, though, remember that the whole team is not actually reliant on a leader. Like, they don't actually have to be reliant on a leader during the whole thing. So just keep that in mind as a response to you. Josh?
I want to add something. I think that if a team abandons their values, especially during this stage, it could cause them to revert back to the previous stage, and it could even cause them to revert back to the norming stage of team development. And I think that'd be a big issue for teams.
Okay, Anibal, if you want to direct us to the next show.
So another challenge that we could face in the performing stage would be not being able to embrace conflict. And even though conflicts in the performing stage should come naturally and should be accepted normally, perhaps there could be still some problems with some members. And people who are found to be avoiding these conflicts just to get through this stage and get things done, they could bring down the performance of the group, and they can create conflicting behaviors amongst members as well. So, Brian?
Yes, some individuals are afraid to be hurt and embarrassed through conflict, so they would rather close it without dealing with it on the subject matter, just to ignore it. And also, some members might have resentment towards other members that would not choose to get hurt because they're not willing to lose. They're more of a win-win situation. They're afraid to lose. Brittany?
I think they'd also be afraid to, like what you were saying, but also if they stand by something, but they don't know if someone else is going to agree with them, so they're just going to go with whatever everyone else says and do the whole majority rule, which I don't think is a good idea. But also, I think that when it comes to like inability to embrace conflict, I think the whole entire decision-making process in general, I think it sets people against each other, which, you know, a group is faced with a tough decision or an issue, and they're stuck trying to decide on what to do, and they just listen to everyone else instead of wanting to voice their own opinions. So they avoid everything altogether. Josh?
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say that as far as high-performing teams go, if you don't, embrace conflict, if you don't challenge each other. You can't keep yourselves at a high performance. Right? I mean, honestly, challenging conflicts and all that stuff, it keeps you on your toes. It keeps all members wanting to do better. And if you don't do that, or you have one or two members that dominate the whole group, and you just let them do that, then your performance is going to be low, because everyone else in the team isn't gonna provide as much feedback, isn't going to help as much. It's going to be one or two people, and 2 people is not better than 5. So in order to keep everything going smoothly and to keep better ideas flowing and better things happening, you got to have everyone involved, and you got to have everyone approaching everyone else with like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? We can do it this way. We can do it that way. Because that is where creativity really stems from, is trying to accomplish things despite conflict. So there you go.
Well said. I think this happens when the team has actually failed to set norms during the norming stage, such as like the way they make decisions or the way they're going to do everything. I think that the inability to embrace conflict would straight up come right out of the norming stage. If nothing was set up during the norming stage, how you're going to settle everything, disputes or whatever, that is one of the biggest things, I think. If you're not prepared during the norming stage, you're not going to make it to this stage. Another thing is that if you have yet to establish close relationships with your teammates this far in, which I feel that's kind of hard to not do, since you'd be working with them for so long. You'd have to establish a relationship with your team members somehow, but if you have failed to establish a working relationship with them, a friendly relationship, that they're not going to take conflicts lightly, such as feedback or anything or criticism. So that's my input on it.
I want to add to that, because like what you're saying, but I think if there's conflicts that arose like at the very beginning of the development of a team, but no one bothered to address those conflicts when they should have, it'll cause problems within a team, which will bleed right into the performing stage, and the performing stage won't even happen because there'd be too many conflicts on the table and no one bothered to discuss them and work through those problems. So no one just wants to bother with conflict resolution at all.
Yeah, so adding to that, I think it's a really huge problem if at this point all of your members already have an open mind when approached with conflicts. So it has to be addressed with really importance when you're faced with this type of problems. What were you going to say, Adam?
No, I was going to say, I'm going to respond to Brittany, what she was saying. It's like, it's basically, I don't know, it's really confusing, because it's like, for our team, do we really know if we're in the performing stage right now? Like, do we know if we made it past all the other stages? Like, can we straight up, like, embrace conflict? Can we do that? Can everyone do that? Like,
No.
I had something to say with that. I mean, you can see our team is a great example of not embracing conflict in a healthy manner. Like, say, Brittany, Adam, and all the conflict we had between us, like people wanting to quit, people wanting to switch to other teams, that's not embracing conflict healthy. But I think the more we discussed it, the more we used the other tools that were given to us, we broke down those barriers. So I think effectively we have actually learned how to embrace conflict pretty good.
But I think we're starting to be getting into the performing stage, our team.
We're getting there. We have pieces to put in the puzzle, but we're getting there.